Hello, and thank you for watching The Righteous Kitchen, a cooking and baking blog found at www.therighteouskitchen.blogspot.com.
Good morning. It is the day before Thanksgiving, and I am getting ready to make my mother-in-law's recipe for broccoli frittata. And we have this pretty much every Thanksgiving and sometimes Christmas. It's a nice side dish. The first thing I want to do is get started with the broccoli and the rice. So I need to steam broccoli florets, and then I need to just boil some white rice. I do have a video on how to make white rice. I'm gonna need 3 cups of cooked rice. So I'm gonna start with 1.5 cups of dry rice and just boil that. So I'll be doing that. I'm gonna show you how to cut this into nice little florets. I'm gonna take my paring knife and get up under here really close to the broccoli. I'm gonna cut away most of this stem. And that's gonna allow me to get right in here and get as super close and just make the florets. I want all this stalk taken off, and then I want them about that size. So if there's a bigger piece, just go from the stalk and then just pull it apart. And that's gonna keep all this little shreds from coming off of the broccoli. It's gonna give you a cleaner cut. So cut it at the stem and then just break it apart. Kind of like that, and just pull it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and steam this broccoli. I'm just gonna bring it up to a boil. When it comes to a boil, I'm gonna put the lid on and let this cook for about 3 minutes, just until this broccoli is fork tender. Once that's fork tender, I'm going to take the lid off and remove it from the heat. Over at the stove, I've just started my rice cooking, and my broccoli is steaming. And I'm going to check that in just a second here. It doesn't take very long for the broccoli. You want it just where it's fork tender. And right now it's not fork tender. So just gonna put the lid back on that. And then, so that's it. The rice and the broccoli are cooking. And then I'm gonna go back up to the chopping block. We're gonna get some veggies chopped real quick. This recipe calls for 1/2 cup of onion. And I want a nice fine dice on that. And it's also going to call for a few cloves of garlic. We want those minced as well. What I'm going to do is I want to chop this garlic down some more. So I just smashed that, and the garlic is going to mince in here with the onions. So we're just mincing everything together. A little time saver. Okay, I've got the onion and the garlic minced up. I have some butter. I'm only going to need a couple of tablespoons of butter to saute that. I'm just going to need a cup of mozzarella cheese, our Monterey Jack would work. I got my seasoning, some Parmesan cheese, 6 eggs, and 3/4 of a cup of milk. And I have a large bowl to mix it in. So what I want to do is just scoot this over to the side, and then I'm going to bring this skillet out. While this skillet heats up, I'm going to need to butter my casserole dish. And today I'm using a deep, it's about 3 inches deep, an 8x8 casserole. I'm just going to use a little bit of napkin here and just butter this very well. And you could use Crisco, but the butter in this dish is going to give it a nice flavor. All right, so, and I'm going to bake it on this tray. So we'll just set this to the side. All right, I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of butter. Let that get melted. And then put the onion and the garlic. All right, we just want to saute this until they're translucent. I'm going to cut this heat down just a little bit. All right. Those have finished cooking. All right, I'm just going to get these over into this mixing bowl. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the rice and the broccoli. Okay, I brought over the broccoli and I'm just going to go ahead and put it right in the mixing bowl. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab the rice. There is a video how to make steamed rice. That is on my video. Just check that out if you need the instructions. Now this recipe here is calling for 3 cups of stirred rice. And I want to show you how good this rice cooked up. You just get in here and stir it around. You see how it's not sticking to the bottom? Really a nice rice. Check that video out. I think you're going to find it very easy to cook. Okay, there's 1. Three cups of rice. Okay, so we've got our rice, onion, and broccoli in here. I'm just going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put in my righteous seasoning and my Parmesan cheese. Get that going. And then I've got 6 eggs. Go ahead and scramble them up a little bit. That's going in. The milk is going in. Our recipe calls for the Monterey Jack cheese or the mozzarella cheese. We're using 1 cup for the topping. And I have a little bit left over here, probably about a 1/2 cup. I'm going to go ahead and stir that into the filling. You could even put more than that. If you want a cheesier filling, you can do that. It's fine. And just get in here and stir everything together. You want to make sure all that spices are getting distributed. Now, if you wanted to freeze it, this is the point that I would, put it in a freezer bag. And then you would just defrost it and bake it. But since I'm doing the demonstration video, I'm going to go ahead and cook it for you. And I have my oven, it's preheated at 350. And this is the buttered casserole. And we want to just even everything out. And we're just gonna put this all over the top. If you want more than a cup of cheese, you can put more than a cup. Sometimes I put a little bit of cheddar cheese on here too. This is ready for the oven, and it's gonna bake at 350 until it starts to firm up, so it won't be all jiggly. And then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. All right, this broccoli frittata has baked at 350 for about 35 to 40 minutes. The cheese is nice and melty, and it's firm now. There's no wiggle to it. And this is an 8x8 deep dish casserole. You can also cook it in a 9x13. You just won't have the height to it. So what I want to do is let this sit. I'm going to let it cool a bit before I slice it. It's going to need to set up just a little bit. It's still nice and warm. Actually, it's pretty warm on the bottom. You almost need to get the oven mitts out. But what I want to do is go ahead and slice this for you, and then you can see what it looks like when it's sliced up. And it firms up as it cools down, so it's going to be, you want it to set about 15 or 20 minutes. That helps it to firm up. So let's see if I can get in here and get a nice piece of this. And that looks pretty good. Broccoli frittata. It's kind of like a quiche, but there's no crust. This here, though, has a lot of rice in it. So it's a broccoli and rice frittata. It's very delicious, and I mean, it must be good because my mother-in-law has served this at her Thanksgiving every year. So, and it's what we're used to. It's very delicious. It's like a nice cheesy rice and broccoli casserole. So I'll get some pictures and put on this. And I thank you for watching. I appreciate all your support. Look around for some other Thanksgiving dishes. You might like rice pilaf, mashed potatoes. I just did one for my mother-in-law's dressing recipe. And then I have my family's dressing recipe. You want to look for that. So we're just going to keep adding to these family favorites. Oh, and there's also ambrosia. Check that out. That goes on the table every year. So there's a nice variety. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share these videos with your friends. I appreciate your support, and have a happy Thanksgiving.